Oh, you're so sweet, I swear. Te mando un besito.
All right, cool. We're on Disco Acid Cult TV. Another solo stream tonight. Man, I usually try to change what I'm wearing from day to day, but I'm wearing the same hoodie I was wearing last night on stream. So this is incredibly tacky, but whatever. That's the way it goes. It's pretty last minute. I just got on here. I just pulled up the Jimmy Kimmel clip I was gonna play in another tab. I'll get into that here in a minute. Dude, it's the timelines have been interesting lately, of course. Right here, don't shower, don't change. Yes, it is the truth. The natural cycle will do its thing. Once you don't shower for like a week, after that, you just stop smelling. The natural cycle kicks in, and you just start smelling like nothing. Although it's been years since I've gone over a week without a shower, so I can usually only go a few days nowadays in my old age. Back when I was younger, dude, I could have gone for a long time. I mean, I probably went at least a couple weeks when I was younger. I went through a barefoot phase too. That was like in high school though. I went through a barefoot phase. I didn't wear shoes for like 2 weeks, and then one day my friends and I went to Jack in the Box, and I had to go to the bathroom, and that was kind of the end of it. I walked into the bathroom. Obviously, there's puddles everywhere on the floor. Well, no, so at first I didn't see the puddles. So my bright idea was I grabbed some like paper towels and I put them under my feet on the floor, and then I tried to slide around the floor on the paper towels, and I ran into a puddle, and the whole paper towel was soaked, and the bottom of my foot was soaked in presumably piss. And once that happened, I put shoes on. I didn't do the barefoot thing anymore. I also got stung by a bee one time during that phase. I stepped on a bee, and it stung the bottom of my foot. And I hate bees. I hate bees and wasps. If I was gonna campaign or platform on one subject, it would be death to all bees. I don't care about all that. Oh, if bees die, like people will die, that's fine. As long as I get like my last 40 to 50 years undisturbed by bees, I'd be totally fine with it. We don't need those motherfuckers around. Everyone's like, oh, if you don't bother them, they won't bother you. Well, that's not true. Every time I walk out of the house, some bee flies into my face. And then wasps, those things are just cruel. Those things are just cruel-hearted. They'll come after you for no reason. They don't even care if you're not bothering them. But those are probably the two like dirtiest phases I've gone through. The barefoot phase and the no showering thing. That wasn't really a phase. That was just like at times I would just go periods of time without showering. Yeah, we have some chat crosstalk here. Protomaxis, what's up to Mark? Dude, I think Mark's doing, or at least Mark, I don't know. Me and Mark still talk all the time, like we were just talking today. Dude, there's nothing, the problem with trying to find stuff to talk about lately is that everything's just the election, of course, which it makes sense. I'm hoping by next week on Wednesday, there'll be some other stuff. Because last night, Trey and I had to riff for like 2.5 hours because there's nothing to talk about. You know, we don't want to talk about the election stuff. I'll talk about it a little bit more, like on my own. I don't want to get into, like, I'll get into the entertainment parts of it. Like, I'm going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel crying like a fucking wuss. I'm down to talk about like Trump working at McDonald's and how that's hilarious, but I'm not going to get on here and talk about like policy and who I think is better and blah, blah, blah. I guess the perfect example is that I will talk about Gavin Newsom getting his ass eaten by girls, but I won't talk about, his policies. They're shitty. Of course they're shitty, but geez, a few solid inches of callus on his feet. I believe it. The monkeys that escaped in South Carolina. I actually saw something about some monkeys that escaped from something. What's the story of that? I can look that up actually. 40 monkeys escaped transport. People are bugging. Yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend on what kind of monkeys they are. Are they like CBS News is what we're going to go with. 43 monkeys escaped South Carolina. Let's pull this up right here. Do we know what kind? Yeah, are they, I mean, I don't know, I want to say, are they nice monkeys? But yeah, 43 monkeys escaped South Carolina research facility. Police warned residents to secure doors and windows. Jesus Christ. Authorities in South Carolina on Thursday warned residents to lock their doors and windows after more than 40 monkeys escaped from a research facility. The primates broke loose from a Alpha Genesis facility in Beaufort County, and traps have been set up, and thermal imaging cameras are being used in an effort to locate the fugitive monkeys. The Yamasee, whatever, police department said in a statement. 43, whatever kind of primates those are, escaped, and none had been captured as of early afternoon. Authorities said the primates were very young females weighing approximately 6. So what? They're not even really that big? I mean, I know monkeys are still strong no matter what. Currently have eyes on the primates and are working to entice them with food. The monkeys are skittish. What does skittish mean? Doesn't that mean like kind of shy? Residents are strongly advised to keep doors and windows secured to prevent these animals from entering homes. If you spot any of the escaped animals, please contact 911 immediately and refrain from approaching them. There's a group of 50 and 7 stayed behind and 43 bolted out the door. It does happen that one can sneak out once in a while, but it's unusual to have a big group like this. Yeah, 6 to 7 pounds, they're not that big. Obviously, I'm sure they're more mischievous than, like, dangerous. Like, if they get into your house, they'll spread diseases, or they'll just, like, trash your house or something. I guess if they come across, like, small children or babies, that could be pretty bad, I'm sure. Yeah, I wonder, like, what level of obviously, I'm sure they're not trained if they're research monkeys. Also, what were they doing? Like, research, like, were they, like, shooting them up with crazy illnesses or something, and now they're gonna go around and spread some new kind of disease or something? Or I wonder what kind of research they're doing there. I'm sure I could find that out. I just don't care to look too much into that. That's, man, imagine being a cop and having to go track down monkeys. That would be, that'd be different. I'm sure when you go through police academy, there's not a lot of training you go through as far as how to capture monkeys. I bet you some monkeys will get shot. Eventually trying to test stuff on them, which is fucked up. Yeah, that's what I mean. If they're doing research on monkeys, aren't they usually, like, giving them weird diseases? Now, if they get around into someone's house, they could be spreading shit around or something. Dude, it's oh man. At least it's a funny story. As of right now, it's a funny story. Obviously, I guess that could get worse, but as of right now, it's a pretty comical story. Of course, the one that I wanted to bring up. I don't know who this is on Twitter that posted the video. So that's my preface to this. I'm sure this person is like some fucking Republican on Twitter or something. Juanita Broderick. Yeah, I don't know who it is, but she posted a video, so that's the clip that I'm gonna pull up here. We're gonna go to man, I can't fucking stand this guy. I was so excited to see this in the news today.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science.
Man, his audience cheers for him when he cries, too. Like, imagine being known as the grown man that goes on live TV and, like, you cry and your audience cheers for you.
For journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for...
Holding back tears, talking about Ukraine, too, as if Jimmy Kimmel fucking knows anything about Ukraine.
The truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
Dude, I just can't fucking stand Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's literally crying on TV. Imagine being a grown-ass man. How old is this guy? Like 40s, 50s? A grown-ass man crying about, like, politics on TV. I just get, yeah, 56 years old. Jimmy Kimmel is 56 years old. 56 years old, this guy's going on TV crying about the results of a presidential election. Dude, I remember even when I was, like, younger, it was like, oh, no more giving billions of dollars to fucking Ukraine. Dude, it was like, okay, cool, like, Obama won. You might not like him. You might like him, you know, fucking, okay, that's our guy. Bush won. Okay, cool. Like, he's kind of goofy, whatever. Like, dude, I don't remember, like, crying hysteria like this. I mean, I know the internet wasn't what it is today. Now the internet is basically just like a big virtue signaling contest. Jimmy Kimmel, I don't feel bad for. Jimmy Kimmel's just a pussy. Some of these kids I feel bad for, though. Like, you see these videos. There's one going around of this girl. Seriously, probably like fucking 17, 18, 19. And she posted a video after the election. She's crying and she says something about like, oh, I might wake up tomorrow a slave. Like this young girl believes that she's gonna wake up tomorrow like chained to her bed because some guy won an election. It's bizarre. Like there's something mentally wrong with these fucking kids. You know. Obviously, that gets into like the whole topic of the news and the stuff that people, you know, it's all fear mongering. All these kids are watching all this shit on TikTok, being led to believe that if somebody wins an election, that they're going to become slaves, right? Like, dude, I don't remember watching any rally of any of these. I don't remember ever seeing Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, Joe Biden. I don't remember seeing any of these guys saying that, oh yeah, when I become president, we're gonna make people slaves. Like, what are you talking about? Where are you getting these ideas from? It's fucking crazy. Like I said, the young kids I feel bad for because they're kind of just victims of propaganda. You know, propaganda is a very powerful thing. I don't understand. There's Nicholas Schreck, the guy that I always talking about that wrote that Manson book, The Manson File. Yeah, the media brainwashes them. Nicholas Schreck, he did an interview recently where he said it's kind of frightening how today we live in this time where people can't tell the difference between propaganda and like actual news. I think that was him that said that. I could be totally wrong. So let me put a little. I don't think Protomax voted. No, I don't think so. Protomax is still young. Like, I wasn't voting when I was his age either. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that people can't tell the difference. Like, people really go on TikTok and see like an influencer talking about something and they think that is okay. So there's somebody that I follow on Instagram. Her name is Sid Trip. It's SYDTRIP. Or I think her name is Sydney. She's just some LA kind of Instagram influencer. She's into like 1960s and 70s culture. So she's always dressing, kind of like hippie style. And that's like her thing. She got, so many tens of thousands of followers or something, I think. And she posted a story today and she said, "Why are so many of you angrily messaging me, asking me to make a statement about the election?" She said, "No, I'm not happy with how the election turned out, but I'm literally just a girl on Instagram. Like, why?" Actually, it was a really good post. Let me go pull it up. And yeah, it was really, even though she is, despite whatever her political, 371,000 followers. And she posted I'm not even gonna pull it up, but she says, "Why are y'all DMing me angry that I haven't made a statement about the election? Like, guys, yes, I am not happy about it and the impact this will have. Genuinely, what is me doing some post on my page about my heartbreak towards the situation gonna do to change the outcome? It feels performative." I like that she said that. All these people are just doing all the, we're in the age of virtue signaling and like performative political posts. She says, "Like my brother in Christ, please go touch grass and feel the sunshine on your skin. I urged you all to vote," which I can bet a good chunk of influencers you follow probably told you to vote and didn't vote themselves. I am not a news channel or a political column in a newspaper. I'm just a girl, bro. This is why y'all get so much misinformation and biased coverage, because you're going to TikTok and Instagram for your world news. I urge you to go to trusted sources and do what you can in your political area to impact your community, not just spewing empty emotion without action on the internet. I rest my case. Have a great day. So I like that a lot. Regardless of what you think of her political ideas or someone else's political ideas, why are people harassing influencers for statements? That's something else I see a lot. Everyone, as soon as something happens, like, "Oh, you need to make a statement." Like, no, dude, she doesn't need to make a fucking statement. She's a model on Instagram that wears like hippie clothes from the 60s. Like, what is the point of that? No, she doesn't need to make a fucking statement. Mark says, "The difference of liberals and conservatives is we don't lose our minds and cry online if we don't get our way. They do. Ironically, all the liberal Dems are kids who live with mom and dad and expect things for free." I would say generally, yeah. Regardless of what you think, it does tend to be. Of course, there are Republicans and conservatives. They get carried away. Like, there are plenty of, they have plenty. There are nutcases on both sides. But if we're calling it square, I do tend to see more nutcases on the left. That is usually my problem with them, is they seem to be the more, the more performative. That's my whole thing. Is I just don't like the performances. I don't like when any side does it. I think just to make it even, so that I'm ripping on both sides. That guy Steven Crowder, he does a lot of performative stuff that I don't like. He does all this, we're at war. If you want to fight the war, like and subscribe. It's like, wait, what? It's almost like what Trey was talking about last night. These YouTubers that they'll say stupid things like, "If you love Jesus and you don't want the devil to come get you, make sure to click that like and subscribe button." So it's like performance along with the plug, the shameless plug. And that's kind of Steven Crowder's thing. "Oh, we're in a fucking war right now. This is life or death. Democracy is on the line. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel." It's like, "Oh, okay, bro. Like, you could have cut out all that and just said subscribe to the channel." And, so I don't like the performative things. Again, I really like that statement from Sid Tripp. I thought it was great. No, we don't need to expect statements from every influencer on Instagram. Like, just go look into, like, dude, I want the opposite. I want less influencers and celebrities to be making political statements. It's I just think it's stupid. And you see it everywhere. Anytime anything happens, any channel you like, no matter what you like, you'll see people that are like, "Oh, where's your statement on this? Like, why haven't you addressed this? What do you think about?" Dude, it's a fucking influencer. It's a YouTube channel. It's a comedian. It's a rock star. Like, we don't need to, we don't need a statement from them. What do you want a statement from them for? And of course, the ultimate guy his statements is fucking Jimmy Kimmel going on his fucking platform, his unfunny ass TV show, crying like a fucking wuss. That's like what that guy's known for now. He cries about lions that get hunted, cries about political. Dude, just that's why I don't feel bad for Jimmy Kimmel, right? Like I feel bad for the kids because they're clearly, they're clearly victims of propaganda. Like they genuinely believe the things. I think they really do. Some of them, don't get me wrong, some of them. I think some of them really are like afraid because propaganda has them so worked up that they really think that, even though we just went through 4 years of this guy as president, like, and everybody was fine, right? We all came out the other end fine. Like, we're all fine. We are all okay. De Niro? Who's De Niro? Oh, Robert De Niro? I haven't seen anything from him. It was funny. It was going around on Twitter. People were like, has anybody heard from Robert De Niro? Has anyone done a wellness check on Robert De Niro yet? But yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, I don't feel bad for. He's a total performance artist. The guy's 56 years old. The guy was doing blackface when he was like in his late 30s or 40s or whatever. Like, bro, you're just virtue signaling for popularity, And it's the same thing with like Howard Stern. That guy's just performative. You cannot get mad at Howard Stern and be like, oh, he's a Democrat. So no, he's not a Democrat. He's just a poser. Howard Stern in his book, I think his book that came out in like the 90s, was talking about how the cops should have beat up Rodney King even harder. Well, Howard Stern was in his 40s when he said that. Like 40s or 50s when he said, like, so let's not act like this guy in his 40s, usually you don't change your mind after your 30s. It's not like Howard Stern was 18 years old talking about how the cops should have beat Rodney King even more. He was a grown-ass man with his own mindset at that point. So to believe that Howard Stern changed his mind after, Howard Stern was doing blackface in like his fucking 30s or 40s, Again, not like he was some stupid 18-year-old kid. Protomax is my bad. I'm working right now, but no, I didn't vote. And now he's a sympathetic liberal. Yeah, no, Howard Stern's not really a liberal. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. You cannot get mad at Howard Stern for being a liberal. You can get mad at Howard Stern for being a poser and for having no real morals or values. He just goes wherever the wind blows, whatever he thinks is going to make him popular. He's not a real liberal. Dude, there was a clip of Howard Stern in like the 2010s talking about how he's never going to vote Democrat again because they're a bunch of they stand for censorship. They're literally, I can't remember where I saw it, but someone pulled up a clip of it from like the 2010s talking about how he fucking hates the Democrats. He's pissed because they want to censor everything. And that was just back in the 2010s, not even that long ago. If I were to vote, I'd probably vote for RFK. I like all the shit he talks about improving. That is one thing that I've been liking a lot. Regardless of what you think of RFK, I know some people think he's kind of out there. But dude, he wants to take fluoride out of water. Even CNN heard about the fluoride in the water thing, and they were like, okay, yeah, that would be a good thing. Like, that's a nonpartisan issue. What RFK wants to do. He wants to take poison out of fucking food. He wants more regulations for fucking medicines and big pharma. Yeah, no, what RFK wants to do is great. That would be badass if we could get kids back into better shape. Yeah, it's all just virtue signaling. Virtue signaling is like my biggest pet peeve on the internet today. It's gotten carried away. It's gotten very carried away. That is one thing I do like about RFK too. Again, regardless of what you think about his side, he was able to let go of his pride and go to a side that he believes in. So again, whether you like the right or Donald Trump or not, you have to at least admire RFK for not being so cultish about his side. And that's a Kennedy, dude. They're like kings of the Democratic Party. So for RFK to completely, let go of his pride and do what he thinks is best, you got to admire that. Yeah, he's definitely a little strange. He's kind of a bizarre guy. But it's, that's that's great intentions to be like, oh, I just want to help the kids be healthier. Like that's one of the most sincere things you'll get from a politician. I want to take fucking poison out of all of our food. I want people to be healthier and to live longer. Another person who I tend to find very sincere is Tulsi Gabbard. I really, even back when she was running, when she first ran in 2020 for the Democrats, I really liked Tulsi Gabbard because Tulsi Gabbard is like the only politician who's getting up there and just strictly saying no war. Like, they all have kind of different takes on wars. Some wars are okay, some wars are bad, but Tulsi Gabbard is the one that I like because she's straight up no war. I don't want to do war at all. To me, she seems to be the most anti-war, and I think that's again a respectable, nonpartisan issue. Of course, we don't want wars. I mean, obviously, a lot of politicians want fucking wars, but yeah, we're all bizarre in some way or another. Yeah, I think RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, again, whatever you think about the side they're aligning with or whatever, like, I think they're two of the most sincere. Their causes, RFK wanting to get poison out of food, wanting kids to be healthier, and Tulsi Gabbard just wanting to flat out have world peace. Like, dude, what are you going to disagree with about that? When Tulsi Gabbard comes out and says, I want world peace, and then the right or the left comes out and says, like, oh, she's a fucking nutcase, she's a right wing. Bro, she wants world peace. What are you going to argue about that? You're arguing against a woman that says she wants the world to not be at war. Like good luck fighting that battle. That's when things have gone a little too far, is when they're telling you that, oh, this bitch is bad. I don't mean to, I'm not calling Tulsi Gabbard a bitch. This woman is bad news because she wants world peace. Like, dude, come on now. And Tulsi Gabbard's always been about world peace. Always. Ever since the first thing I remember her talking about when she got on those debate stages was ending wars. That's always been her main thing. And that's really not a lot of their main things nowadays. Like I said, they all have different takes on different wars. This war might be okay. That war is not good. We should get involved in this, not involved in that. I like her take on just, we should not do wars at all. We should find ways to avoid that altogether. But yeah, fucking Jimmy Kimmel. Fucking Jimmy Kimmel being an absolute crybaby. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine being the guy. Fucking multi-millionaire. Got my own TV show. And this guy decides to go on his TV show and fucking cry. Like, that's his thing. That's his whole thing. I didn't get my way, so I'm going to go on live TV and I'm going to cry. Jimmy Kimmel getting all choked up talking about Ukraine. Dude, and blackface is like the least of Jimmy Kimmel's sins. If anyone ever remembers The Man Show, I mean, there was a whole segment on The Man Show where Jimmy Kimmel would put stuff in his pants. He'd walk around on the streets and have women feel what's in his pants and have them like try to guess what's in his. Like, dude, the guy was a total dirtbag. And I'm down for dirtbaggery. That's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm down for that shit. Had he, if he would have kept doing. I mean, it's the same thing as Howard Stern. Like, you can grow and change and not become a complete fucking pussy. Like, had Howard Stern or had Jimmy Kimmel, become Democrats, but still continue to be funny and still continue to be at least somewhat like they used to be, then we'd all have more respect for them. I always say if Howard Stern would have kept being Howard Stern, his fans wouldn't have turned their backs on him. They turned their back on him because he's like a clear and obvious fraud. Yeah, crocodile tears to gain social credit. It's so weird that that's a form of social currency, though. Like, the fact that you cry about the right things will get you points with certain groups of people. Like, why is that such a, why do people want to see that? Why does anybody want to see a fucking grown man crying on TV? I don't know. It's just fucking weird. I can't fucking stand Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, it sucks. Jimmy Kimmel used to have on a lot of good bands. I remember The Used always played on Jimmy Kimmel back in the day. I don't think the Strokes. No, the Strokes, they did a lot of Conan. The White, there was like the White Stripes and the Strokes. I think they did a lot of Conan O'Brien. But Jimmy Kimmel always had good bands on too. You don't got to be all sensitive to care about the working class. Yeah, you don't have to be a baby about it. You know, you can talk about your shit without crying on TV. I think the Academy is played on Jimmy Kimmel. That's what it was. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel had on a lot of those, like a lot of those bands that were big when I was on MySpace and shit. Like the Academy is, All Time Low. Okay, I think I'm already proven wrong. I don't think it was the Academy is. But oh yeah, All Time Low. They played on Jimmy Kimmel a couple times though. So yeah, no, he used to have good bands on his show. Democrats only care about identity politics, though. They don't really care about the working. Yeah, no, they don't. They're not the working class people. I mean, even Bernie Sanders, which by the way, I can't lie, I like Bernie Sanders. I think he's got some crazy ideas, but I think he's kind of cool. Even Bernie Sanders, after this election, basically said, yeah, Democrats lost because they quit caring about the working people. Which, again, whatever you think about Bernie Sanders, you can't disagree with that. He's totally right. You know, and that's him coming out and dissing his own party. Dude, the Democrats, they did Bernie dirty back in, what was it, like 2016, I think. They did Bernie dirty. I really think Bernie would have gone all the way. I think we would have had Trump versus Bernie in 2016 if it wasn't for the Democrats fucking over Bernie. Yeah, even Bernie comes out and says, yeah, the Democrats don't care about the working people. That's why they're not winning. That's why they're losing these battles, because they have abandoned their... That was like their whole thing when they first started. The Democrats were supposed to be the party of the working class people. And now they're just not. They're just not anymore. I want to see if I can find... yeah, Bernie, it should come as no surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them. First, it was the white working class, and now it is Latino and black workers as well. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and they want change, and they're right. Today, while the very rich are doing phenomenally well, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and we have more income and wealth and equality than ever before. Unbelievably real inflation accounted... I can't read. Unbelievably real inflation accounted for weekly wages for the average American worker are actually lower now than they were 50 years ago. Yeah, Bernie's the man. They fucked themselves over in 2016. Yeah, no, Bernie had a way better chance at beating Trump than Hillary did. He's kind of sellout, but his stance on his party and workers. Yeah, no, he's you know, there's that funny thing about how Bernie used to talk about millionaires, and then once Bernie became a millionaire, coincidentally, he started talking about billionaires instead. Which, you know, whatever. I can't blame a guy for going after the money. You know, I don't know how I would act if I became a millionaire. But regardless, yeah, his takes on like working class, you know, You might even disagree with like how he wants to go about fixing it, but the idea is there that it's the Democrats really don't care about the working class people anymore. They're more into identity politics and what they call marginalized groups and whatnot. And just virtue signaling. It's all just virtue signaling. None of those people actually give a fuck about anything other than I guess war nowadays. I don't know. Kamala hanging around with the Cheneys. That was like the craziest thing, I think. That was kind of my I don't want to say last straw with her. But when she's talking about, the Cheney family is endorsing her and they're acting like this is a good, like, dude, Dick Cheney, like the guy who shot a guy in the face and is like damn near responsible for, half of our bullshit with Iraq and Afghanistan. Like, that's crazy. That is crazy that they were bragging about getting endorsed by Dick Cheney and then Kamala going and hanging out with Liz Cheney. Like, that's insane, dude. That's again, like all left or right Republican Democrat shit aside, that's insane for anybody to boast about hanging out with the Cheneys, acting like that's some fucking accomplishment. Like, oh yeah, vote for me because Dick Cheney likes me and because Liz Cheney's hanging out with me. Like, dude, that's war. That's just war bullshit. It's so ridiculous. That's how you know these people don't actually care about anything they say. Yeah, it's definitely the shit that lost him the election. To think, oh yeah, Liz Cheney will get them on our side. What the yeah. Hey, remember the family that basically got us into, they got us into a bunch of fucking war. And whatever you think about 9/11, there was definitely some stuff going on there. But forget about all that. We got Liz Cheney. She likes us. Dick Cheney likes us. Like, that's. Dude, like, you should avoid that. Like, when Dick Cheney comes out and says, I support this, you should, like, avoid that completely. Or you should damn near be like, oh, yeah, we don't want your endorsement. Like, that's what I would do. If Dick Cheney subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd be like, dude, I don't think I want your YouTube subscription. I think that's fine, actually. And as of right now, I need all the subscriptions I can get. Yeah, that was crazy shit that they were taking. The Cheneys. And then they got endorsed by like the IRS. I think it was like the IRS union or something like that. That one was even more comical to me. Like, yeah, the guys that take money out of your paycheck before you ever get it, well, they're endorsing us. So that means you should vote for us. It's just super weird. And then all the celebrity endorsements, that's always ridiculous to me. Like, oh, fucking Lizzo likes this person, so I'm going to vote for them. Like, who gives a fuck what Lizzo likes? It was just a terribly run campaign. Again, totally neutral. I don't like any of them. I always have to point that out. But the whole, I think I posted about it on my Instagram today. The fact that Kamala was not even voted into her position, she was literally placed into her position. To me, that's the end of the argument right there. Like, I don't really care to hear anything else. Once you tell me that there's no primary, you're just putting this person in their place, and we're supposed to vote for them. It's ridiculous. Like, oh yeah, this is the party that's going to save democracy while also skirting around democracy at the same time. Oh yeah, funny. Turns out that didn't work. Like, well, I don't know what they expected. It's crazy. And now these people are crying about it. And did even some of my buddies, they were texting me and they were like, dude, I can't believe Trump won. And I said something about, well, yeah, Kamala is probably the worst candidate like of all time. And no one even voted her. No one liked her. No one gave a fuck about her for 3 years. And then all of a sudden she got put into that position by the powers that be. And everybody tried to act like she was like the second coming of Barack Obama. And it's like, no, she was fucking terrible. She didn't answer a single question. She didn't talk to press for fucking weeks. Straight up avoided press, walking around with her phone held up to her ear with her earbuds plugged in, like fucking so retarded that she doesn't understand how earbuds work. And yeah, so my friends were like, yeah, but Trump had like the felony convictions or whatever. And I was like, I don't think people care about that. People would rather take a fucking a felon, and even then, honestly, the felon status, that all depends on whether you trust in the system or not. That's the whole thing about the felon thing. It's not the win that they think it is. You know, he's only a felon if you believe in the system, and a lot of people don't fucking believe in the system anymore. You know, it's the same system that told us Charles Manson is a fucking brainwashing cult leader. So it's, you know, yeah, I don't think people care about that convicted felon shit anymore. Those are at least my takes on it sucks. I try to like give my analysis on all this stuff, and I'm like I have to explain like I don't like any of these guys. This is just like my analysis from a neutral standpoint from what I see. And like some people will mistake it as like, oh, that means you fucking like this guy. And I'm like, no, I don't fucking like them. I watch this stuff and I see what's going on and I talk about it. That's all it is. It's not hard to tell at all why Kamala lost. Like she had no fucking chance at winning. The fact that they were trying to act like it was a close race the whole time, I never even believed that. It's like, no, it's fucking not. Those ladies running around with Liz Cheney, you're gonna tell me it's a close race. Oh, either one of them could win. No, it's fucking stupid. Realistically, the whole thing was over when Hulk Hogan tore off the shirt, the RNC. That's when the shit was over. Once Hulk Hogan came out and said, you know, you don't want to fuck with me, brother. The Hulkamaniacs. When the Hulkamaniacs start running wild, dude, it's over. There's no chance anymore. Somebody messaged me when I posted the Jimmy Kimmel screenshot of him crying. Somebody responded and said, "Oh, he's gay," and then messaged again and said, like, homosexual gay, like he's actually gay. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. I think Jimmy Kimmel's married. I'm not sure. Yeah, to act like it was close was a joke. Dude, I'm trying to like the last 3 streams I've been trying to put like I'm trying to the titles, like my last 3 titles have been 2024 election, can eat my shorts, Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, ain't got nothing on this. Now I got Jimmy Kimmel's a wuss, 2024 election, and I'm pretty much trying to clickbait people into this. I've talked about it a little bit more this stream than lately though. I just you know, I'll never talk about like what I think. I'll talk about how I don't like any of these guys and like I said, analysis type stuff. That's the only thing I'll really do. And I'll only do that by myself too. Like I would never waste time with Trey on here talking about stuff like that because you know, neither of us give a fuck. I'm pretty much just trying to kind of take advantage of what's going on right now and talking about it. But yeah, no, that's my whole thing. It's like standing outside of any bubble and watching it. It's super obvious why like shit went the way it did. You know, some people don't like it, some people do like it, whatever. I don't really care. I pretty much don't like anything that happens in politics anymore. I'm just not really a fan of any of them. I don't think any of them really you know. I don't think anything can be fixed like permanently in like I don't know, maybe that's a stupid theory. My whole theory has always been that nothing's ever going to get fixed because presidents are only presidents for 4 to 8 years. And you know, there's like generations of damage that needs to be fixed. I think the only way a guy could fix it is if we had a president for like fucking 20 years. Like because every time we have a president, you know, we had Bush, and then we went to Clinton, which is going from Republican to Democrat. So then they start doing the opposite. Then you go to after Clinton, we had Bush, you know, Bush again. So then you go back to Republican, and then you go back to Obama, and then you go back to Trump, and then it's just, and of course, every time someone else gets in, they undo all the stuff the last guy did. Like, it's just a never-ending tug of war. Nothing's ever permanently going to get fixed. So that's always been kind of one of my ideas. I think to actually fix anything, you need to have a guy in for, and I'm not saying we should have a guy in for longer than 8 years. I don't really know what the solution to it would be, but even right now, like people that are talking about how Trump is going to fix everything, dude, Trump's got 4 years. And then like, we'll just get like fucking Gavin Newsom or something. And then we'll go back to, it's just, yeah, it's never gonna, nothing's ever gonna fix itself permanently because they're just gonna, it's just a pissing contest. They're all just gonna go back and forth doing the shit they want to do for 4 to 8 years at a time. And then, you know, voters always tend to go back and forth. It seems like there's a big overcorrection problem where we have a Republican and then they get tired of that. So then they vote Democrat, and then they get tired of that. So then they vote Republican again. But I think that's like a two-party system issue too. Like, it's when you only have one of two parties in office, you know, everything's just going to go back and forth like that. Whereas maybe if you had a fourth, fifth, and sixth party that got in there sometimes too, you know, it'd be more of a melting pot of ideas and solutions. But the whole two-party thing doesn't work out very well, I don't think. I think we've definitely outgrown that. I almost don't even like having any parties at all. I think you should just have people. Just have politics that have ideas and have them run. And that's that. You know, I don't like this vote blue no matter who, or vote red no matter alive or dead. You know, I don't know, whatever you want to call that, but yeah, I don't think a two-party system works for any of the things that we need to fix. Like, you know, everyone talks about like the budget. Like, America's basically perpetually trillions of dollars in debt. It's crazy. There's this guy I listen to who I like a lot, this libertarian named Dave Smith, and he was talking about how we're so used to like perpetual inflation that we just kind of accept it. Like, when you talk about how, you know, a loaf of bread is like fucking, I don't know how many, 4 or 5, whatever dollars. And yeah, we need to commit to long-term plans over decades. Yeah, no, nothing. Yeah, no, nothing's ever going to get fixed in a matter of 4 to 8 years. It's just not. I'm fact checking myself. I want to see how much a loaf of bread costs. 2024. Okay, yeah, $2.54. So I was a couple of dollars over. But so Dave Smith was saying that we're so used to being in the state of perpetual inflation that, you know, the typical story of when you say like, oh yeah, bread is $2.54, and then your grandpa goes, oh, well, when I was a kid, it was 10 cents. And that's like completely normal conversation. But Dave Smith was saying that that's not what it's supposed to be like. It's supposed to be the opposite. Naturally, the price of things should be going down over the years because technology makes production easier. So things get easier to make, and they're supposed to get cheaper. So in a world where America runs like it's supposed to and has been running like it's supposed to, the price of stuff is supposed to go down over the years as production becomes easier and technology becomes more advanced. But because we're just so fucking used to being perpetually in debt and inflation rising, it's just pretty much the norm for us to just accept that things are getting more expensive as days go on. Government is run by private equity and oil, so as long as their pockets are getting fatter, they don't give a fuck. Yeah, pretty much. Private equity, oil. I always enjoy a good military industrial complex comment. I think that also has a lot of pull. I heard a theory one time that somebody was saying that, like, what was it, like the ancient Romans, when they never actually left, they just became the Roman Catholic Church. I can't remember the other one. There was another one where it's like, I think it was like the Brits never actually stopped running shit. They just turned into the banks. I gonna sound stupid. I can't remember. But somebody was basically saying when America finally does fall from like the number one spot, they won't actually go away. They'll just kind of become the military industrial complex. And I mean, you could argue that we already are just a military industrial complex, but yeah, basically the theory was that empires don't actually go away or crumble. They just kind of change shape and turn into something else. And they just kind of hide behind that as they continue running the way they always have. Yeah, that we're a direct continuation of Roman and British. There's a guy I really like. I haven't listened to him in a while. I'm going to actually listen to him tonight now, probably. There's a guy. He does a podcast. It's actually a podcast that's produced by the guy that does the Confessionals. You know, the Confessionals is on, he has his own production company called Merkel Media. The only other podcast he produces is called Macroaggressions. So it's like a play on microaggressions, but it's an A instead of an I. And I don't think this guy's ever said what he is, but he speaks at anarchist conventions. So he hates everybody. Those are the guys that I like to listen to. They don't like anybody. Like Dave Smith, the guy I just talked about. He doesn't like anybody. He likes Ron Paul. I think he said he voted for Trump this year because he was so disgusted by Kamala Harris hanging around with the Cheneys. But he will criticize Donald Trump just as much as he criticizes Kamala Harris. Those are the guys that I like. The guys that will criticize everybody. You know, I listen to everything. I'll listen to both sides, but the guys I like the most are the ones that point out the bad things that all of them do, because they seem to be the most honest. We've already come to the warmonger, weapon producers. I think China is already ahead of us if you look at their technology, but we outpower their military. Yeah. No, obviously, pretty sure. I think China is one of the front runners to kind of take over as like the number one spot in the world. But yeah, Macroaggressions. It's by this guy named Charlie Robinson, and he does a lot of good episodes. He talks about, you know, he talked about 9/11. Actually, here's an episode: the real story of the Columbine massacre. I actually might listen to that tonight. But yeah, he talks a lot about what's actually going on, like the food pyramid and how that whole thing is bullshit. He talked about the censorship industrial complex. Yeah, really good podcast. It's a really interesting kind of like political podcast. Like I said, I like the guys that criticize everybody. You know, I like the libertarians and the anarchists because they don't really have much stake in the game. They're not out to just promote one of the two big sides. They're just in it to actually talk about what is actually going on. So there's no bias. But yeah, it gets annoying how so like Dave Smith was talking about how, you know, out of the two options this year, he's probably going to go Trump. So some people are like, oh, he's fucking selling out. He's a fucking sellout. It's like, no, he's not. It's literally just a lesser of two evils. Sometimes you just have to fucking suck it up and like pick one that you think is going to do like the least amount of damage, basically. One of Dave Smith's big criticism of Trump is, I guess, how much money he spent in his first 4 years, which is something that I guess people don't talk about, or Republicans and conservatives don't talk about, is that he spent like way more money than like any other recent president. The food pyramid is insane. They convinced everyone that fucking sugar cereal is better for us than steak and eggs. Yeah. Yeah, the food pyramid was always bizarre. Especially when you see those breakfast commercials with like cereal and like fucking like muffins and butter and milk and orange juice. And it's like, holy shit, dude, that's like an entire... what's the story? Have you heard the story about breakfast? Like originally, like people didn't, breakfast was never really a thing until some company came along and like pushed it and marketed it as the most important meal of the day, just to sell whatever food they were producing. And then there's a crazy story about the bacon hype too. I guess bacon was never, you know, everyone today, it's almost like a cliche that everybody loves fucking bacon. I guess back in, like years ago, some company. True, Trump set the record for government spending before Biden, which doesn't line up with the whole less government idea. Yeah, no, there's definitely things to criticize both of them on. So that's why I like the guys to criticize both of them. And then from there, you pick a who's going to do more damage or less damage or whatever. One thing I will say about the left that kind of like freaks me out sometimes is the way they talk about like censorship of like misinformation and disinformation. I don't like all that. I don't think it needs to become some kind of fucking crime to, I don't like one party deciding what is misinformation. I don't like that at all. I'm an adult. I should, I don't like when moderators fact check politicians in debates. Like, I'm an adult. I can do the fact checking myself. I don't need a fucking a rich guy that works for ABC in a fucking suit to tell me what's real and what's not real. I can do my own investigating. I can check things out myself. I'm not watching this debate to watch, this news guy talk. I'm watching the debate to watch these two politicians talk. I've seen that shit. They made up the breakfast to sell more sugar and grains. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't understand how people aren't insulted by that. Like when politicians come out and say, oh, we need to stop misinformation. Like what they're saying is, oh, we think the general public is too retarded to decipher misinformation from truth. Like to me, I take that as an insult, when Hillary Clinton comes out and says, oh, we need to police the misinformation on Twitter. No, I'm not fucking retarded. Like I can police my own, I can decide what information hits my brain and what information doesn't. Like, thank you very much. I can handle that myself. And they need to start talking about the differences between misinformation and disinformation. I think misinformation is just somebody that's incorrect, somebody that's talking that believes he's correct, but he just so happens to be wrong, which, by the way, isn't a crime. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. We're all wrong many times. And then disinformation is, just lying intentionally, passing things off as truth when it's not. And generally, in most cases, that's not a crime either. It's not a fucking crime to lie. Obviously, in some cases, it can be harmful and it can do different kinds of damage. But, dude, it's not. Nothing needs to become a fucking crime. They're right. Unfortunately, the average American reads below 5th grade level or 6th grade level. Yeah, but that's because no one's educated because of the school system. That's one thing that I think is funny. Donald Trump's talking about how he wants to like dismantle the education system in America. And they're like, oh, he wants to make kids stupid. It's like, okay, well, kids are already stupid. Like, I don't think there's much worse that you could do. It's funny because I'm sure it's obvious that the implication is they dismantle it and try to put something better in its place, but they'll talk about it as if he just wants to destroy public schools and then just leave the kids with nothing. I don't think that's the goal. I think the goal is obviously to build a better system. But it's funny how they'll say, oh, he wants to make the kids stupid and uneducated. It's like, bro, the kids are already fucking stupid and uneducated. I don't think there's much worse you can do to the kids today than what they're already going through. Public schools are already not working. Charlie Robinson in the Macroaggressions show, he's done an episode on the public school system, and he talks about how the public school system was created by, I don't remember the companies and people that were involved, but it was not created to educate kids genuinely. It was created to pump them full of what they want to pump the kids full of and get them away from their parents for 8 hours a day. Kids spend way more time at school than they do at home with their family. So they're going to learn what the state deems that they should be learning. Yeah, no, I would totally be down for a new education system in America because it's like embarrassing. Dude, Cardi B was just on TV the other day trying to read something. And apparently that went pretty embarrassingly. Cardi B can't fucking read beyond a 3rd grade level. And this is one of the millionaires. This is one of the elites in our fucking country. And she can't fucking read. Dude, who keeps going in and out of the YouTube watching? You guys got to start fucking commenting in the chat because I'm always curious. I don't know. It keeps going up and down one. And as of right now, there's one more than Protomax. So it sucks when there's only like 2, 3, or 4. I always wonder if it was like over 10, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't be curious as to who it is. But when it's like a single digit number, I always wonder like who. I'm sure there's a couple of randoms that have been popping by just because of the title that I chose for the video. I think public school exists so parents can work while their kids are at school. It's pretty much free dick. Yeah, pretty much. It's just it's pretty much just daycare. And then there's the side quest. Of course, the daycare comes with a side quest of like teach them things that we want them to know, you know. Teach them the way we want to teach American history. Jenny lurking in the chat, praying Annie will come back. Yeah, Annie never. I didn't message her today about the stream, but she never messaged me either. So I'm assuming Thursdays will just go back to me. I should try to find someone else. I don't know who else to find though. I got really lucky with Annie and Mark. They both just kind of not volunteered, but they basically were like, "Oh yeah, we'd like to, you know, we should do something." And then ever since then, yeah, I really haven't found anyone. Trey, I got really lucky because he's pursuing a YouTube career himself, so I thought that would work for us both. But I definitely want someone else on Thursdays. You know, maybe I could do Tuesdays by myself, Wednesdays with Trey, and then Thursday with someone else. But yeah, public schools, they're not meant for educating kids like properly. They, you know, they like it when people are fucking retarded. Man, I don't even think there's anything good going on the old Twitter trending page. It's gonna be all politics for a while, at least like a week or two. That's the bummer. I'm hoping there's something pops back up for next week. Fallout Season 2, Black Ops 6 Season 1, NBA YoungBoy's Shoulders album release, Madonna's Cake message to Trump. God, who gives a fuck? Reynolds and Jackman on Oscars hosting. Oh, the Oscars. Is that coming up? Yeah, that's like at the start of next year. I think that's in like February. No, January. I don't know. I don't even know when the Oscars is. That'll be something I could talk about. 2025 Oscars. Celebrities and Trump's 2024 victory. Yeah, even the entertainment section is basically Jack Black and Dear Santa trailer. Is Jack Black playing Santa Claus? There's a trailer for you know what? Let's watch this. There's a trailer. I guess Jack Black is playing Satan. It looks like a movie where Santa Claus is actually the devil. I don't know. That could be something. Oh, I already see some comments saying it doesn't look good. We'll check this out. I'll get a copyright claim for this, and I'll have to dispute it. Dude, I'm getting so tired of the copyright claims. I usually dispute them and they go away, but it's
Every Christmas, something magical happens.
Dear Santa.
When a kid sends a letter to Santa, but Liam
To Santa.
is a crappy speller.
This looks like fun.
Oh, that putrid.
Thank you.
What do you want?
You summoned me.
Not what I expected.
What'd you expect?
In the movies, the reindeer usually have the antlers, not you.
Kid, are you high?
I'm ready for dinner.
You lucked out big time. I'm way better than Santa. Ho, ho, frickin' ho. You, my friend, are getting 3 wishes.
You mean like a genie?
They stole that from me. By the way, after you make your wishes, I'm taking your soul.
What?
You ain't never had a friend like me. Okay, that I may have stolen from Aladdin. Now we're even. Let me show you a few of the things I could do for you. I'll be right back.
It's Post Malone.
Leo!
Look, I'm worried Santa's going to trick me into getting my soul.
I think he's just confused.
We believe you.
No.
Yo, down here! What are you waiting for? Go make a move! Sue me, I'm thirsty.
I tried everything. That kid's incorruptible.
What about doing something out of kindness?
I don't even know what you just said. I mean, I know all the words, but I just never heard them in that order.
You know this man?
I'm his uncle. Beat it.
Who do you think you are talking to me like that? Oh,
That doesn't sound right.
pardon me, kombucha.
Watch this.
Lock. No, please, never trust a thought. You just gambled and lost.
Nice to meet you. The pleasure was mine.
Oh man. All right. First of all, I'm tired of these movies remixing songs like that. Nothing But a Good Time by Poison is a really good song by itself. We don't need this like pop electronic version of it. Like, just use the fucking song. Movies seem to do that a lot. They'll like have somebody cover like a Nirvana song, or they'll do like a remix of it. Just use the fucking song. Why you gotta switch it up? I don't know how I feel about that. So it's a kid. He writes a Christmas letter to Santa, but he accidentally spells Satan. So he sends the letter to Satan. Jack Black is the devil. It looks like it's rated PG. That's one thing I got from it. There was no like language, which again, you could have a funny PG movie, but I don't know. I guess if Jack Black's gonna play the devil, I'd rather have it like be an R-rated movie. Somebody tweeted under it and said, it looks like Jack Black is just taking any movie before even looking at the script nowadays. Which, yeah, I think that seems about right. Like, he's doing that Minecraft movie. Like, what the fuck? First of all, I don't even understand why they're making a Minecraft movie. That just sounds completely bizarre to me. I guess one thing I can say is that, at least that Dear Santa movie, it's not it doesn't look like it's based off any already existing IP. Like it's not a remake or a sequel or a reboot. It is a new movie, so I guess that's good. But it's not a theater movie. It looks like it's only coming out on Paramount Plus. So it's straight to direct to streaming, right? Only the remakes get theatrical releases. Gotta hit a TikTok remix version of every song. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that probably is the reason for it. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't look all that great. I thought it was going to be like a horror movie. When I saw that Jack Black was playing the devil in a Santa movie, I thought we were going to do like another horror movie where Santa kills people, which is always a classic, like Silent Night, Deadly Night. One of the greatest slashers of all time. Jack Black has tarnished his legacy, unfortunately. In the 2000s, he was on a... Oh, yeah, Jack Black used to be one of my favorites. School of Rock, Nacho Libre, Tenacious D. Yeah, no, he was great. He's definitely doing some damage to his resume. Fucking Minecraft. So is Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell is someone else that's damaging his reputation a lot to me. Like he did the Barbie movie. Movie which he was like genuinely unfunny in. He just wasn't funny in that movie. And I always talk shit about the Barbie movie. I really wanted to like the Barbie movie. I thought it was going to be like a funny little kind of Toy Story-ish movie, just more geared toward girls. And then of course it obviously fucking wasn't. It was a movie about Barbie fighting the patriarchy, which also could have been fine. Like a lot of the 70s exploitation movies that I like, they have like kick-ass women as the stars. A lot of those movies are really good, like women fighting a bunch of guys. Like they could all be like women fighting some patriarchal type of organization kind of movie. So yeah, Barbie could have been really cool. They could have done Barbie fighting some kind of patriarchy and it would have been badass. But they don't know how to do that. Hollywood has completely lost the ability to write movies with anything like substantial. It's all too on the nose. That's like the main problem. It's all just way too on the nose. It's like, oh, you didn't actually want to write a good story. You just wanted to write a movie about fighting a patriarchy. You weren't concerned about the story. You know, you were just concerned about virtue signaling in your movie. So I guess at least so far, it looks like that Dear Santa movie didn't seem to have any kind of political stance that was being broadcasted so obviously. So I guess I will give it that. I will say that. Nacho Libre was awesome. School of Rock is still probably one of my favorite movies of all time. That movie is like part of the reason Kelly actually always said that in 5th grade, I saw School of Rock and then my entire personality changed. He's like, yeah, you saw School of Rock and then all of a sudden you thought you were an AC/DC fan. So I always got to give School of Rock a lot of credit for introducing me to a lot of cool music. Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny is, of course, a classic. There's a YouTube channel that I really like that talks about movies. They just covered Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny recently, too. Hack the Movies. And they did a really good video on the Pick of Destiny. It really is like a stoner comedy, which is funny because I think stoner comedies are usually kind of cringe. But, of course, that movie was great. Like, undebatably great. Nacho Libre is basically the luchador version of Napoleon Dynamite, which I think it was made by the same guy that made Napoleon Dynamite. Let me see. Yeah, Jared Hess. I guess the story of that is that, you know, Jared Hess directed Napoleon Dynamite, and then one day Jack Black called him and was like, oh, I really like Napoleon Dynamite. If you ever have any ideas for me, you know, let me know. And I guess right there on the phone, Jared Hess said, do you want to play a luchador? And Jack Black was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm down for that. And then we got Nacho Libre. Dude, fucking Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon Dynamite is like one of the greatest comedies of all time. I think that movie did a lot as far as showing that you can make a great movie with not very much. I'm sure the budget was fucking tiny. The cast was small. It was perfectly casted. Let me see if I can find a budget. Okay, $400,000. That's actually surprising. What the fuck did they spend $400,000 on in the making of Napoleon Dynamite? That movie literally looks like they went to a school with a camera and just like started shooting stuff. Damn, that is actually surprising. What? I mean, I guess the actors. I mean, Haley Duff was in that movie. I'm sure she wasn't like the cheapest actor to cast. John Heder was pretty much an unknown at the time. So I don't see him getting paid a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they could have spent money on. In 2002, Brigham Young University film students John Heder and Jared Hess collaborated on a class project. The result was a 9-minute movie shot on black and white 16mm film entitled Palooka. Is that what this is? Palooka? About a nerdy high school student named Seth. Palooka was shown at a 2003 Slam Dance Film Festival, was well received. Jeremy Kuhn convinced Hess to drop out of school and adapt it into a feature-length film. Okay, so where's the actual production? Hess shot the film on location in Preston in southeastern Idaho, located near the Utah border in July 2003, operating on a tight budget of $400,000. Hess cast many of his friends from school, including Heater and Aaron Rule, and he relied on the generosity of Preston locals who provided housing and food to crew members. Okay, so if they got free housing and free food, again, what are they spending $400,000 on? Among the established actors in the cast was comedy veteran Diedrich Bader, who filmed his scenes as Virate. I can't read from here. I'm too far away from my computer screen. Virate, whatever the fuck, Virate, Viral. I can't tell if that's a T or an E. Martial art instructor Rex in one day. Okay, so that guy does all of his parts in one day. So I don't know how much he's paying him for one day. Dude, I want to know so badly where that fucking money went. Hess describes the film as being autobiographical, so there's not much on the production. The film is set in 2004, 2005, as shown on Napoleon's student ID card. And yeah, no, I guess there's not going to be much. They had to pay for music, but I don't know how much money you would spend on a couple of cheesy 80s songs. You know, they used Alphaville's Forever Young, which is a great song. The film was originally made without the opening titles. Audiences at test screenings were confused about when the film was set. 8 months after the film was completed, the title sequence was filmed in cinematographer Mun Powell's basement. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they spent $400,000 making Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, I definitely thought it'd be more like 40,000. It looks like a really cheap movie, and I know 400,000 in the grand scheme of movies is not a lot, but it's more than I would have expected for Napoleon Dynamite. Benchwarmers was awesome. Benchwarmers was great. Rex Kwon Do. I would like to get a pair of those pants, those red, white, and blue pants. That's for sure. Grimrock is here. I was on an online jam session with some guys that were Skyped. Don't know how long I will stay. We wanted to drop by. What's up, Grimrock? I mean, you're all good. You're always good. Like I said, you've definitely been working lately, so that's badass. I got to put your shirt back up. It's still literally sitting right here. I only ever changed it back to the porn star because the stream on Wednesday that I do with my buddy Trey were kind of more crass and like comedic. So I thought it would fit the tone to have the porn star up. And then so I thought at least once a week, either Tuesday or Thursdays, I'll put yours up. I'm going to start switching out more often. Like I'll do yours on like a Tuesday. I'll do Cali Roses on Wednesdays. And then Thursday, I don't know, I'll do like one of my Rob Zombie shirts or something. I need to stop. I forget to change the shirt out is the thing. And then by the time I get on stream, I notice the shirt and I'm like, fuck, it's the same thing. I really need to change up the background a little bit more. Maybe I could like hang something cool from the door behind me. I know I've talked about I want to do a green screen, but the problem is the wall is diagonal. Like, so my camera's here. This is me looking straight ahead if I look this way. So if I had the camera sitting straight ahead, you know, I could hang a green screen directly behind me, but everyone likes porn stars, though. What up, Prody? Yeah, everyone likes porn stars. Dude, I really do need to start trying to find some smaller porn stars to bring on the channel. I shot my shot with one. She had like 64,000 followers, and she never even opened the message. So I guess I got to go smaller than 64,000 followers. I'm thinking about trying to ask. I have a buddy that does stand-up comedy, But thinking about asking him to come on. Oh, man. Every time I talk about something, I try to change the title. Dude, I really do want to beef with channels. Like, I think it'd be funny. Talk shit in their DMs to get their fans to look at your page. I would want to like manufacture some kind of online or like on screen. Like I talk shit about a channel right now, but I'm not big enough, obviously, to where they would like find out. Like if I said fuck this channel right now, nobody would ever even find out about it. It's like I tagged Brittany Griner in that post that I posted talking shit about her. I mean, I know obviously she's not going to see it. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if she did. She might be the type to look at the stuff that is actually said about her on the internet. Yeah, I would like to beef with the channel. I would even like to do like fake beef with the channel. Just play it off like it's real on here. I'm thinking about I don't even know where I was going with that. And I definitely need to start messaging people. I haven't messaged anyone about interviews, but I've had some ideas for a while. One of them being a friend of mine, which I think would be easy. I don't think it wouldn't be a big deal. Like, it's not like I'd bring him on and like the shit would blow up or anything, but it would be fun and he would post it and, you know, it'd be cool. I've got one idea that's a little bit more out there, kind of a shooting for the stars idea, but it's someone that I've talked to before. But yeah, other than that, make up a channel name and say you beef with them and they shut down. I should just make a whole separate channel and like operate the channel acting like it's someone else. And then I'll start a beef with that channel. I've always wanted to do like drama YouTube. I always thought that would be entertaining. Which friend? I have a friend named Dakota. He does stand-up comedy now. And I think it would be I think it'd be cool to have him on. He does a lot of stuff actually. I think he did I think he's done like shows in Texas and shit. And now it'd just be a matter of me messaging him. He has his own podcast and with a couple other comedians. And they're right around the same size as us right now. Like we're both like in the low hundreds as far as his podcast is called Criminal Race Theory, which I think is fucking awesome. Yeah, they're like at 105 subs. So it'd be realistic for me to message him. And then like I said, he's a friend of mine anyway, so it would make sense to bring him on. It'd be cool and on brand for the channel. Yeah, it'd be cool to have comedians on. It'd be cool. I should start beef with his channel. But no, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. But I'm very jealous of the name Criminal Race Theory. I guess they got it because Dakota's Jewish, and then his other two co-hosts, I think one of them is black, and then one of them is Asian. So I think that's supposed to be the whole joke. But yeah, fucking Criminal Race Theory. I'm super jealous of that. I thought that was so fucking clever as soon as he said that. And their production's way better. They're actually like sitting on a couch. And they've got I think they have like Shure microphones. I could be wrong. Let me look this up again. I mean, I have a Shure mic. Well, Trey has my Shure microphone, but okay, no, they're not Shures, but they're definitely better. They've got a podcast where they're all three sitting on couches and like the camera actually goes from person to person while they're talking. Whereas mine's obviously just like camera sitting on the desk. I'm talking into the mic the whole time. I wish there was a way that Trey and I could like work together in the same room. My computer is here, and I wouldn't. There's not enough room back here. Even if I was gonna have him come over here, there's not enough room. You know, I'm pretty cramped in this space where I'm sitting right now. Otherwise, I would try to do the shit with Trey in person, just because it's easier to talk to people in person. Although I think we're getting better at talking around each other. I know, you know, when we first started, we like cut each other off a lot, and it seems like we're already getting better at like we know when the other one is going to talk and when they're going to stop. So that's getting better. But yeah, it'd be cool to. I'll probably message. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'll fucking message my buddy tonight. I pretty much am just going to ask him, like, do you think it'd be weird if I asked you to fucking come on and do like some kind of fucking interview? I used to play shows with him too. He was always in a band, and we always played shows together. So that'd be cool. We could talk about like I always want to ask him what the comparison is between like playing a show and doing a stand-up comedy set, because I always imagine they're pretty much the same. Yeah, last night was cool. Trey called me today and said he had hella fun last nights. Probably get the guy from the Horror of It All podcast connected to you. I feel like you've mentioned that podcast before. Let me look it up. Is it on YouTube or is it just on like Apple Podcasts? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, pretty much just everything horror, it looks like. Yeah, I think it's kind of like a similar going from being in a band to doing like a YouTube show. It's all similar realm. I don't even think it's like entertaining people. Honestly, I'm not gonna say that Dakota has like any kind of ego or anything, but like I just have a fucking ego. Like I don't want to work a real job, and I like doing shit like this. So this is pretty much just mostly ego, and me not wanting to work a real job. It's by Real Richard Graves. Yeah, I found the podcast right here. Yeah, I remember you mentioned this one before. He just pretty much talks about all things horror. That would be cool. I wonder if I could find his find any of his like personal, like, or if he has any personal accounts online. But yeah, no, I think going from being in a band to doing any kind of talk show, it just kind of translates over the same. Dakota's funny. Dakota's always been naturally funny, so the comedy thing for him makes sense. He does like stand up, and that makes total sense because he's always been funny. Like no matter what, he can pretty much make you laugh. And then I think he just does the podcast now because that seems to be like what comedians do. They do stand up and then they do a podcast on the side, or the podcast. You know, those kind of go hand in hand too. I've always thought doing stand up would be fun. I don't think I'd be good at it. I think I'd be terrible at it. But I always thought it would be interesting. I think it'd be fun to, like, if I thought I could be good at it, I would do it. On Facebook, Instagram next. Okay, yeah, cool. I'll find his Instagram actually. I've had some I've actually had a handful of friends for some reason tell me that I should do some kind of comedy or stand-up. I don't know, I've never really thought of myself as, like, a tremendously funny person, but I've had a few friends that have said, "You should do some kind of comedy." No, I don't know. This is, like, the farthest I would go. And I don't even necessarily think this is, like, a comedy show, but just if I have to pick a genre, the closest thing, is, would be comedy because 'cause we're just talking about stuff and laughing about it. I always thought it'd be cool to do a commentary YouTube channel too. Like, just, there's a kid that I watched that just talks about, like, internet beef and internet drama, basically, like, whenever some kind of beef or drama breaks out amongst, like, 2 YouTubers, like, he'll talk about it. But I don't really know how to keep up on that stuff as well as these kids do. Like, I find out about this stuff through these kids that talk about the stuff on YouTube, and by the time they've already talked about it, it's, and this whole time, my thing's been telling me only 2 or 1 person is on YouTube, and obviously there's been 2 because it's, Protomax and Grimrock. I've been meaning to do, I've forgotten about this the last 2 times, and I probably won't get to it now because I'm gonna get off here before 8 tonight. I've been meaning to do, I wanna do, I guess, like, a watch along with, one of my favorite Howard Stern segments was when he had Insane Clown Posse and Sharon Osbourne when they were beefing. Yeah, the number's been off all night. But yeah, I've been wanting to do, like, a watch along, Howard Stern segment when Insane Clown Posse and, Sharon Osbourne were beefing. Howard Stern had them both on at the same time. But it's like a 40-minute video, so it'd be something I have to start from the beginning of the stream. So I'm not gonna get into that tonight, but that, I might do that either next week on Tuesday, or I guess I might do it tomorrow. I don't know. I don't usually do streams on Friday evenings. I don't know if that'd be a good idea or a bad idea. I don't know who's usually on YouTube on Friday nights. Speaking of, YouTubes, I have to upload a short right now because I've been meaning to upload a short onto YouTube. I guess they say Thursdays and, like, between 7 and 6 and 10 or something is, like, a good time for shorts. YouTube Shorts is the worst thing so far. I've noticed that, whenever I put up a YouTube short, it's, if it gets 0 views within the first hour, it's never gonna get views. But if it gets at least a couple views within the first hour, like, it'll at least get a few hundred views, I've noticed. It feels like you're dropping a coin in the well, and it just kinda disappears, is what it feels like when you upload a YouTube short. At least for me anyways. Obviously, I'm sure once you're, should be able to be on this Friday. Well, this Friday is tomorrow. YouTube Shorts is ass. Yeah, but everyone says YouTube Shorts is the way to do it, which I know. It's, it sucks, but, yeah, everybody's like, "You gotta do YouTube Shorts nowadays if you wanna get anywhere." I know YouTube has been saying ever since October 15th that they're rolling out 3-minute shorts. I talk about this all the time because once they roll out 3-minute shorts, I've got like a fucking plethora of shorts that I can put up because I just take them from my Instagram Reels. All my edits are for Instagram, so they're all 1 minute and 30 seconds. So once YouTube rolls out the 3-minute shorts, dude, I'll be posting shorts like every night. But as of right now, I'm still waiting on them to roll that out. I guess it's taking them a long time. A minor hit or miss. Yeah, it seems very hit or miss. But I'm locked in a single category. Honestly, the single category, I think that's been one of the hardest parts of me doing this so far is that I have no one category. So it's, if I made a YouTube channel just talking about horror movies, then like me, I would attract horror movie fans that might not know me but are interested in horror movies. But since I'm just kind of doing whatever, I'm just a nobody talking about nothing on the internet, basically. So I know I've been needing to do more videos that are like based around one specific topic. Like I'll do like pre-recorded videos. I've been wanting to do a video on Claudia Jennings lately, which of course is a topic that nobody will give a fuck about, that'll get no views. But I've got some of it written out already, so it's something that I definitely want to do. Shit, I might do that tomorrow or tonight. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I do. Whenever on YouTube, I just click the enter. There's like an entertainment category. That's usually. I just go under entertainment. If I ever had to get more specific, yeah, I would either do comedy or like commentary. I like to think of it as like a commentary channel. Just make sure to have a category. Yeah, I've got entertainment in my. That's like the one that I'm selected under. Dragon Ball channel. Make a video on why GT is better than Super. Dude, the reason I don't make videos like that is because I don't have. Okay, so like when you watch a video that's like a movie review, and they talk about the movie for like 30 minutes, and they show clips of the movie constantly. Where do they get those clips? That's what I always want to know, especially when it's somebody reviewing a movie that like just came out in theater yesterday and they put a video up and they've got clips of the movie. The whole like, where are they getting these clips from when the movie is not even released yet? Do you download the movie on your computer? Oh, get the fuck out. Super is better than GT. You can leave. You can leave. You can get out of here right now. You're not welcome here. Super is better than GT? Dude, you've got to be bullshitting. You've got to be fucking kidding. Fucking Henderson, Nevada or Stockton. I don't give a fuck about Henderson or Stockton. You fucking Super is better than GT. Terrible. That's the worst thing you've ever said. Absolute worst thing anyone's ever said. Fucking blasphemy over here. That's hate speech. I won't have hate speech in my comment sections. In my chat. We don't allow hate speech around these parts. Fucking terrible. Fucking absolutely terrible. The worst thing anyone's ever said. Yeah, hell no, why not? This is your worst take of all time. You in the wrong chat. Dude, Super is terrible. Super is basically just an excuse for everybody to transform like 24 times. First of all, Super Saiyan 4 is the coolest form of all time. Goku and Vegeta, the whole idea of Super Saiyan 4 being like the true Saiyan form, like back in ancient history, like it was, or I don't know, I think ancient history, but like Frieza, I think the idea is that when Frieza was initially talking about Super Saiyans in the very first saga, he was actually talking about Super Saiyan 4. That's what he was seeing. Because that's like Saiyans in their original forms. I think they clips from the trailer. But then where do they get the trailer? Like, how do you download the trailer? Do they download the shit onto their computers and then GT got the greatest form in this. Yeah, Super Saiyan 4 is the greatest. And Super has Goku Blanco. The Tournament of Power is sick, dude. Dude, Super was just one big excuse to give us 20 different transformations. Like, when is the Rainbow Super Saiyan coming out? Right? When are we getting Super Saiyan Rainbow? Why don't we just jump straight to it? Let's just get it over with. Let's just get Super Saiyan Rainbow out there. We got fucking Goku Pride and Vegeta Pride with their fucking rainbow hair. Super. Dragon Ball Super better than GT, my ass. Tournament of Power is cool, but it's 100 fucking episodes with a bunch of bullshit. Dude, GT was like the adult version of Dragon Ball. It was like the dark, gritty Dragon Ball Z. And fucking Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I say Gogeta. I'm sure it's Gogeta, but I say Gogeta. And Omega Shenron was badass. The return of 17, dude, Super 17, the coolest looking bad guy of all time. Oh, this is terrible. This is blasphemy. I got to finish uploading this short. Gohan Beast is cool, though. Dude, I'm always torn on Gohan. Like, I like Gohan, but he's got some hardcore fans that I don't agree with as much as they do. Vegeta's obviously the best character in all of Dragon Ball. That's the easiest. All right, this YouTube short better do well, or I'm gonna be pissed. I even looked up the best time to upload shorts on Thursdays, and it said Thursday between now and like 11 p.m. is like the absolute best time of the week at all to post YouTube shorts. All right, let's let her rip. We're putting this short up right now. It's uploading. I upload YouTube shorts from my phone. I know. I do way too much on my phone. I do all my editing on my phone. Except for when I do the longer edits, like when I edit when I pull out like a 5 to 20 minute clip or 30-minute clip from a live stream and I put that on YouTube. I do that on the computer. But I still use CapCut on the computer. I like CapCut. Whatever. Fucking bite me. I don't care. I like CapCut. It's nice. It's easy. It works well. But yeah, that's what I always want to know. Where do they get these clips from? So like if I was going to do a Dragon Ball Z video, do I have to buy the entire series? Like download it onto my computer and then... Even then, how do I get that into like CapCut, into a video? Like how do I... So like I buy episode 4 of Dragon Ball GT and then I want to use clips from that. So I buy the episode. Now how do I pull those clips and put it into my video editor? But they have tutorials on how to make commentary videos. Dude, I've looked this stuff up. I've like found no answer. I guess obviously like the bigger YouTubers, they get press kits sent to them. So like when Terrifier 3 comes out, they send press kits to the big horror movie reviewers. And that's where they get the clips from. But I don't have access to that shit. So yeah, I would want to know, how do I rip clips from like a Dragon Ball Z episode? Because dude, the way I clip, I'm not even kidding. The way I clip even my own videos when I make my Instagram videos, this is the ghettoest shit. I pull up the video on my phone on YouTube and I screen record the parts that I want. And then I crop out the bottom where it has like the video title and the comments. I crop out everything but the video. So even when I edit my own videos, I just screen record it on my phone. That's why my Instagram videos, the quality looks kind of shitty. I screen record my own videos on YouTube, and then I crop them and I take them into CapCut, and then I caption them. My biggest pet peeve is how you see all those videos that people make captions, but they don't bother to correct all the captions are auto-generated, but they make mistakes. You have to correct them, but people don't correct the captions. That's like my biggest fucking pet peeve. It's not even that hard. You just go in there and fucking fix it. Sometimes I hate when I have other people on the show because sometimes I don't know exactly what they're saying. So I don't know how to correct what they're saying. But when it's me, obviously I know what I was saying, so I can always correct it. But that's the worst. People don't correct their fucking auto captions on their edits, and there's no excuse for that. And shorts take forever to upload. I need to do more editing tonight. I need to pull out some more, like, 5, 10, 20-minute segments from old live streams and upload them onto the channel as videos. Dude, my last 2 videos have, like, the worst views ever. I put up those 2 videos that are just random videos, the one of me talking about girls selling feet. And, dude, I did the video on the When We Were Young festival, and that shit has, like, 9 views. I thought that was gonna at least do, 'cause, it was brand new. They just announced the When We Were Young festival, and I went over the whole lineup. Fucking upload that shit. It's like 9 views on my channel. It's terrible. You the best. Full glazing mode. It's fucking unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. Dude, what I need to do is find out how to buy ads on YouTube. I've paid for Instagram ads before, but Instagram does not transfer over to YouTube very well at all, which makes no sense to me. Gotta go respect. I don't know if that means you're saying you gotta go with respect or you have to go, and then respect is like you're saying goodbye. If that's the case, then yeah, hell yeah, thanks for coming by. But yeah, I need to find out how to buy ads on YouTube, which then I would need to make an ad. I'd want to make like kind of a spoof commercial for the channel. But Instagram followers do not translate to YouTube subscribers, which is really annoying. I'm still getting followers from that one reel that's like, I wouldn't call it viral, but like borderline viral, kind of viral for my field. So people find that reel and they follow the page. And I know that's how they find it because it'll tell you this person followed your page from your reel. So they find my reel, they like it, and then they like it enough that they follow the page because they want to see more of the stuff that's being said on the channel. So then I post the YouTube link and I'm like, well, here's everything. Like, here's where, you liked the reel. So here's the whole thing. And then it's like, they don't click the fucking link. They don't subscribe, which I don't fucking get. Like, dude, why'd you follow the page then? I mean, obviously I'm not saying don't follow the fucking Instagram, but yeah, it's just weird. And I guess that's like a thing. My buddy that does the Drunken Japan page, he was talking to Trey about how he's like, yeah, he's got like over 300,000 followers on Instagram, and he can't get any of them to move over to YouTube. Which, yeah, I think is super bizarre. Like, why would you follow a fucking Instagram? Obviously that means you like it. You like the stuff. So wouldn't you think it makes sense to move over to the YouTube when you see, especially when the link is posted like right there? I mean, yeah, Twitter's dropping the ball. There hasn't been anything good on Twitter at all. Probably gonna get off here in a minute anyways, though. I think we're down to just Protomax in the chat. So if you're there, I'm gonna hang up here pretty soon. I think I don't know. I'll think about tomorrow. I'm not sure. If I do tomorrow, it'll be like 5 or 6. I have work Saturday, so I might not want to fucking do tomorrow, but at the same time, I don't know. Oh, it'll be a touch and go type of deal. I might do it, I might not. If I don't do tomorrow, I'll for sure be back on Tuesday by myself, and then fucking Wednesday. It's this thing on Twitter that says, according to Warner Brothers, Tom and Jerry is now officially Looney Tunes. Does that mean they bought Tom and Jerry? I don't know. There's not really much else to it that it says. I don't know. I gotta find out more about that. But yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna get out of here. This has been Tom and Jerry. Yeah, Tom and Jerry is Warner Brothers. So I don't know why. I think it's a mistake. I don't know. There's a stupid tweet from Warner Brothers in Abu Dhabi on Twitter, and it says the Looney Tunes are bringing the rhythm to Warner Brothers Yas Island. I think it's like a branch of Warner Brothers in Abu Dhabi, and it shows like 4 characters, and it's Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and then Tom and Jerry. So I almost feel like it's a mistake. I don't know. The franchise is combining. Yeah, it could be something like that. The same way that like Disney is buying up everything. But isn't Looney Tunes? Like, who owns Looney Tunes? I thought that was okay, Warner Brothers owns Looney Tunes. Yeah, Warner Brothers Discovery owns Looney Tunes. WBD produced over 1,000 Looney Tunes and Merry Melody shorts between the 1930s and 1960s. So I guess, yeah, it would just be like Warner Brothers sticking Tom and Jerry in with the rest of the Looney Tunes, which doesn't make sense because it's never been. Looney Tunes has like one specific gang of cartoon characters, and Tom and Jerry's never been a part of that. It looks like it's just something they did kind of lazily and sloppily and at their some show in Abu Dhabi. So I think Warner Brothers owns a lot of shit. I guess at least it's not Disney. As long as Disney doesn't own it, because then that's fine. Disney owns the whole fucking world. But all right, shit, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for coming by. If I'm on tomorrow, I'll post about it. If I'm not, I'll also post about it.